This video is sponsored by Kickstarter Stream. Hello everybody, welcome back to another Kickstarter crap. Today we're going to be taking a look at artificial intelligence. More specifically, we're going to see what kind of stuff it's been learning to do in the past few years. I got this tweet from someone showing me MuseNet, a neural network which discovered how to generate music using many different instruments and styles. So I was curious what this was, but I haven't looked at it yet. So let's take a look. It was not explicitly programmed with our understanding of music, but instead discovered patterns of harmony, rhythm, and style by learning to predict the next token in hundreds of thousands of MIDI files. This is not unlike what my boy Carrie KH did. I discovered Carrie because he trained AI to make music. This was one of those instances where the YouTube algorithm pushed me something awesome. So you can hear there, it's like, okay, this actually sounds like Baroque music. Yeah, it's messing up a couple of moments, but this is crazy that artificial intelligence can generate its own music if you give it enough stuff to learn from. This was 2017. Where are we a couple of years later? Through May 12th, we're inviting everyone to try out our prototype MuseNet-powered music generation tool. Oh, hell yeah. First, let's take a listen to some of these samples. Let's see where we're starting. No one would be able to guess that that was made by AI. That's so cool. Okay, apart from the terrible drum samples in that, again, musically, I would have no clue that that was artificially generated. Freaking Banjo-Kazooie music. Tell me that this does not fit. They didn't even need to pay for a musician in that game anymore. Okay, so we have a bunch of different styles we can choose from, different intros. Okay, I know Silent Night, so is this going to use the beginning notes of Silent Night? Because if so, that's kind of cheating, but working off that is still pretty impressive. Like, imagine if you just had to give an artificial intelligence a riff, and then it turned the whole thing to a song. Right, okay. That was such a nice chord. This is like an automatic YouTube video generator. It's Christmas time, everybody. Let's do a cover of frickin' Silent Night in the style of Lady Gaga. Okay, that just sounds like a generic ballad. But then I guess she does kind of generic ballads more recently. So in the style of Disney, do Fleur Elise. That's so weird. I don't think I'm quite feeling it yet. So forget the cover thing. So much for my big moment of excitement there. Let's take a listen to it making a country music from scratch. Okay, guitar, bass, drums, and piano. Sure, start. So an original country music song. Just what I want. Alright, Billy Ray Cyrus, let's hear what you got. Sick. Alright, I was seeing where you were going with that. Perhaps not the best samples in the world to pick. Ignoring the fact for a second that this is terrible MIDI instruments that sound nothing like real instruments, that's actually not far off the style. So if some producer would team up with a team like this, surely that would allow them to just auto-generate really well mixed country music, or like music of any genre. This doesn't sound spectacular, but that's only because of the bad samples. Does that sound like Rachmaninoff? I'm not familiar with his work. There's a lot of sweeping piano there. Right, just sounds like a bee. An angry little bee. So, concluding this, it's pretty interesting. They can get the instrumentation right. They just need to team up with someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to the actual production aspect of it. That's so interesting. What businesses could you make with that? Let's take a look at what else OpenAI is doing. OpenAI was co-founded by Elon Musk, motivated in part by concerns about existential risk from artificial general intelligence. They're trying to understand AI so they can try and develop it more safely. That's the hope. There's one thing I know they've done, which I'll show you in a bit, which is bloody crazy. But I want to see what else first. Okay, so robotic hand. What? So they've trained it to move a cube like that in its hand.
Here, our robot has learned to rotate a block into any orientation we'd like. We show it many different variations of the world, where the rules are slightly different every time.
What? Wait, this was trained artificially. They didn't just do this in the real world over and over again. They did this artificially over and over again and then translated that information to the real world.
Our system can learn to manipulate objects of all kinds of shapes without any...
Okay, yeah, well, I can do that. I can do that. See, it's not just the robot.
We can solve more and more complex tasks in the future, so that we can go even further beyond what today's hand-programmed robots can do.
Yeah, well, can it do this? With all... yeah. I don't think so. OP. It does seem pretty OP. You could make some memes with that hand rotating the block to different letters there. Let's be careful which letters. Okay. How AI training scales. Trying to understand this. It looks pretty. Yeah, I think this is a little bit out of my brain grade right now. Better language models. Due to our concerns about malicious applications of this technology, we're not releasing the trained model. What problems could be caused by that? So this artificial intelligence is given this prompt, human written prompt. In a shocking finding, scientists discovered a herd of unicorns living in a remote, previously unexplored valley in the Andes Mountains. Even more surprising to the researchers was the fact that the unicorns spoke perfect English. So that was the prompt it was given. And then the artificial intelligence wrote, the scientists named the population after their distinctive horn, Ovid's unicorn. These four-horned silver-white unicorns were previously unknown to science. Now, after almost 2 centuries, the mystery of what sparked this odd phenomenon is finally solved. What the hell? This reads well. Obviously, it's a nonsense concept. But like, if there was a freaking Onion article on unicorns, this is plausible what it would be like. Dr. Jorge Perez, an evolutionary biologist, how did it even... So it's detected that unicorn and biologist must be related in some way. From the university, and that biologists are from universities of La Paz and several companions were exploring the Andes Mountains when they found a small valley with no other animals or humans. How do they find these unicorns? Perez and the others then ventured further into the valley. By the time we reached the top of one peak, the water looked blue, with some crystals on top, said Perez. Perez and his friends were astonished to see the unicorn herd. So it knows that unicorns are in herds? These creatures could be seen from the air without having to move too much to see them. They were so close they could touch their horns. This is really well done. Holy crap. This is fascinating. I was sitting there on OpenAI thinking, oh, what's this? The language models, what are they slightly better at Google Translate now? And here we are just reading a convincingly written article by an artificial intelligence. Oh wow, reading comprehension. On other language tasks like question answering, reading comprehension, summarization, and translation, we are able to get surprising results without any fine-tuning of our models. So they've trained it to answer questions. They got it to answer questions on this paragraph, this data set. First question was, what was the theme? The Olympics was run with the theme of One World, One Dream. The artificial intelligence could correctly identify one world, one dream. What was the length of the race? That's so impressive because it doesn't specifically say race. It says relay. And it doesn't say the relay was this. It says they carried the torch this. So it's been able to interpret all of that accurately. Holy crap. Oh my god, for being a lawyer, this would be the most amazing thing. Like you get all these files or whatever of all the emails and everything that company has ever sent and say, hey, have they done anything illegal? And this can frickin' find it out. Now I can understand what they're talking about with concerns about malicious applications of this technology. Machine translation. Translate French sentences into English. Yeah, this is what I was assuming it would be. Is it good? Alright, so here comes my perfect French. Here we are. Un homme m'a expliqué que l'opération gratuite qu'il avait subi pour soigner lui permettrait de travailler à nouveau. One man explains that the free hernia surgery he'd received will allow him to work again. I don't know where the word hernia... Oh, hernie. Lui permettrait de travailler à nouveau. Will allow him to work again. Travailler à nouveau. I got an A in French. How about that? Take that, machine learning algorithm, but you can't pronounce it. Policy implications for malicious purposes, including the following. Okay, here we go. Ideas, guys. Generate misleading news articles. Got that one. Impersonate others online. Oh my god. You could give it Twitter and say, generate the funniest things. Just generate funny content all the time. And you could build a huge Twitter following. Could this be good for comedy? Automate the production of abusive or faked content to post on social media. Automate the production of spam or phishing content. This is dangerous. Technologies are reducing the cost of generating fake content and waging disinformation campaigns. The public at large will need to become more skeptical of the text they find online, as the deep fakes phenomenon calls for more skepticism about images. Deepfakes are fascinating.
You see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele.
Right, that wasn't perfect, but it's getting really close.
Learning to recreate that person's face by...
Alright, there are some good uses for deepfakes, for sure.
You don't even have to know what GitHub is. You don't have
Wait,
to know...
that dancing was done. That's so weird. They were able to make this person look like she was dancing.
You know, the everyday person who the deepfake sex video emerges in a Google search of your name, where for that person, it becomes almost impossible to debunk.
That's a good point. When it comes to famous people, people are going to assume that there are going to be people crazy enough to want to make deepfakes. Whereas if someone made a fake porn video involving someone just that wasn't famous, that would trash their reputation. We're in a really weird time. One thing you can do is to raise more awareness about it. If someone gets attacked like that, more people know to think, okay, this technology exists now. There are people who are malicious enough to do this. Maybe this person did not do this certain thing. Then also, the more you raise awareness for it, the more people are able to do it. But you can't stop technology. If one person doesn't say it, eventually it's going to come out. I think it's important for more people to know about it.
Right now, what we are focusing on is developing forensic techniques to protect world leaders from deepfakes. Donald Trump's, Theresa May, and Angela Merkel's of the world, how their likeness will be used to disrupt elections and incite potential violence in countries.
So someone drops a frickin' viral video of, I was going to say Donald Trump doing something bad. That's not the best example of it having a significant impact. So someone drops a viral video of Bernie Sanders punching a baby the day before an election, then is that going to affect anyone's vote if it's convincing enough? This got a lot more intense than I thought it would. The thing that I was thinking of that OpenAI has been working on more recently was kind of mind-blowing, and I'm surprised it hasn't got more attention. So OpenAI has been learning how to play Dota 2. If you're not familiar with Dota 2, massive game. I think, at least for a while, it was one of the biggest games on Steam. It's a MOBA game, 5 people versus 5 people. Because this is such a popular game, esports in it is pretty huge, and the people that play it are obviously insanely good. So OpenAI has been playing against professionals more recently and winning.
From our human perspective, this is an even game, Owen. How are they saying 95%?
So at this point in the game, the commentators, who clearly have a lot of experience because they're commentators, think it looks like a relatively even game. OpenAI can see that they have a 95% chance of winning.
For intense, but it doesn't matter. The creeps are on the ancient. GG is called, and OpenAI take game one.
And then they go and win. So they are seeing things that humans are not capable of seeing to understand situations better at this type of a level. And that's an incredibly complicated game. This AI is looking at this dude thinking, okay, he's going to blink over here, so I'm going to blink first.
Has no real items. That never happens with the AI.
That's crazy. We're right at the start of this. This is only going to get more and more impressive and scary. I was really hoping this would be a fun video. I've said this before in a video.
Your kids probably have one of these, right? That skill is all AI. It has cameras and sensors. It does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive.
I think you can see where this is going, and well worth watching the full thing. We currently have the technology to make drones that can do facial detection and that can explode on impact. That's a scary combination to currently exist. This video kind of shows where that goes with it. I hope we don't die. There is a very real chance that we could all be in some kind of horrific dystopia if we're not careful. However, on the plus side, we can listen to original Journey music for the rest of our lives, if we so wish. So with the good comes the bad. So with the bad comes the good. Thank you very much for tuning into my sermon. Cheers for watching, and have a nice day. Jesus. I don't know how I feel.
Hello, mate.
Davo, could you please stop breaking and entering?
Well, start leaving your windows open, then.
So, who's the...
Mate, you've got a bunch of fucking nerds watching you, ain't you?
Yeah.
But say hello to Curiosity Stream, mate. Thousands of documentaries and non-fiction films from some of the world's best filmmakers, including exclusive originals. It's like fucking nerd heaven.
I don't think you have to be a nerd to enjoy...
Nerd Valhalla. And it's only $2.99 a month, mate. I found that on the fucking floor this morning.
What, dollars?
Mate, I'll cut you. A fucking deal just for you. The first 31 days, yeah? Completely free. Just go to CuriosityStream/fucking Davo and use the promo code fucking Davo.
Really?
Yeah, all one word, lowercase, no quotes.
I really wonder how your emails go with these companies.
Pretty fucking well, actually, mate. Those nerds are well sound. They gave me free entry to the site, you know, I'm a celebrity. And I was watching this one about a dog. It was well good.
You knew this video was about AI, right?
Yeah?
Did you consider showing one of the several AI documentaries they've got on there?
I considered it.
Okay. Did you at least want to give more details about the dogs one?
No, mate, I don't want to fucking spoil it.
You haven't even told us the title.
Okay, fine, one spoiler. It's called Man's First Friend. Happy, now you know they're friends.
Oh, I was watching that one. It's the one about how humans and dogs were first interacting.
No, don't spoil it, mate. Anyway, we've got fucking Stephen Hawkins, David Attenborough, Sigourney Weavers, everyone on there. It's well good. So remember, before you fucking nerds watch another video, head over to curiositystream.com/fucking Davo, or I'll bash your head in.
What? You can't threaten my audience in a sponsor segment.
Fucking watch me, mate. Bye.
Well, that was weird. It's oopsie time! Hello everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at the mistakes I made in the last video, which, as you all remember, was English guy takes English citizenship test.
Isn't it English guy takes British citizenship test?
Now, the first thing I wanted to point out, when I was looking for the kind of comments to correct all the stupid things I said in that video, and there were a lot of stupid things, I had to look in the new comments section rather than the top comments section for them. So I just want to clarify, don't be afraid to upvote the things that are telling me that I'm an idiot, that are pointing out things that are wrong. And also for the people who are calling me out, can you be funnier? Because then more people will upvote it. National anthem God Save the Queen can only be played in the presence of the Queen. Is the Queen here? No. Dave plays national anthem. The Queen teleports behind him. Dave. NANI? That's a solid little meme. However, it's not teaching me how much of an idiot I am. If you can do both, that'd be awesome. Don't be afraid to give a thumbs up to one of the things saying I'm an idiot. I thought this one was interesting.
Yeah, you thought that Jesus came back on Good Friday, you bloody moron.
I'm not the best Christian, sorry. Why would they call it Good Friday? Yeah, I thought I had a good point there. Why would you call it Good Friday if Jesus died on it? Well, Pickle educated me. It's called that because good's first meaning was used as holy, so it actually means Holy Friday. I didn't know that.
Have we got a source for that?
No, a pickle. The Oxford English Dictionary states that good in this context refers to a day or season observed as holy by the church. Yeah, yep. Pickle was right. Thanks, Pickle. Dude, your English history is so bad, Lamau, you should have read more horrible histories in your youth. I'm guessing these aren't enough then.
I never read them and I knew.
Shut up. I am an English person, proceeds to wave British flag.
I saw a lot of those, but I think that's a bit stupid to say because, I mean, it's still our flag.
The English one is in there and it's like pride of place.
Yeah, with the main one.
With the one that like captured all the other ones. For your own personal preference, Sajid Javid is a moron. Okay. Thank you. We got one data point there. Nah, you're right, Sajid Javid is a moron. Okay, 2 data points. I think that's enough, people's
Yeah, that's
opinion.
some solid evidence.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an Americanism now. Dude, did you see that gnarly wave? There are multiple accents in the US, not just a stereotypical surfer dude. Wrong. Next. Oh yeah, here's one I got wrong.
Poor Danes.
Okay, Vikings. They're from Norway, right? Swedish and Norwegian.
It even says Danish first.
I was looking up who the Vikings were, and I ignored the Danish people and the Icelandic. Sumimasen, my Danish friends. I didn't mean to not include you in the bloodthirsty pillaging gang.
File down their teeth like madmen.
Serious?
Yeah, they used to file their teeth into a point, so it's like, I'm doing this to myself, what do you think I'll do to you?
Oh my god. Maybe I should be more careful around these people.
Oh, they're lovely now.
Quiz, what are the 40 days before Easter called? Another bloody religious question. Quiz, what do the two following religious communities celebrate Diwali? This is fascinating. Perhaps this helps with integrating with other cultures. Nice one, Dave, nice one. I wasn't surprised to see the question about Christianity in this, because Christianity is such a strong part of English history. But I was surprised to see other religions mentioned in this test. So I was fascinated to, is this the reason that they're including these religions in the test rather than trying to push a religion onto other people? Probably the stupidest thing I said. Hitler wasn't German, he was Austrian.
We all know this.
We all know this. I apologize to Germany. He's a bad man. Hitler becomes a German. Hitler became a citizen of Germany.
So that person's wrong.
I was right! Hitler was a German after all.
Took his citizenship test.
Thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Oopsie Time at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I have a pretty cool top on. I just wanted to show off these zips. Cheers for watching and have a nice day. And this was Hannah. Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget Curiosity Stream.